Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rhone Thomas. This week we had some pretty good highlights, so I'll start from the beginning. Monday was Martin Luther King Day, and since Martin Luther King Day is a national holiday, me and my Boy Scout troop, we had the ability to go put flags down Main Street here in Sebastopol, which you can see right about now, and then on Wednesday was the inauguration of President Joe R. Biden Jr. And due to that, my school start time was affected. We actually didn't start till 9:15, so I was actually able to watch the presidential inauguration. And his speech it moved me a little bit. It was kind of hard to tear up a little bit, actually. For me anyways. And then Friday was, I don't know how many of you guys actually knew about this, but Friday was National Brownie Day. Now, I love brownies, right? I don't know about you guys, but I had a brownie on Friday, and it was a double chocolate brownie, and it was delicious. Every bite was satisfaction. It did not once disappoint. Alright, now, I got a joke. A guy brings in a chicken to the vet, okay? He brings in a chicken to the vet, and it's unresponsive, right? And he asks the doc, "Hey doc, I think my chicken's dead. Can you please check it?" And the doc's like, "Alright, dude, I'll check the chicken. Just give me a minute." He checks the chicken. And he's like, "Alright, dude, I'm like 99.99999% sure that your chicken is dead." The guy's like, "Alright, well, can you please check it? I really would like for it to still be alive. Can you please check?" The doc's like, "Alright, nurse, bring it in." So the nurse brings in a black lab, right? The black lab sniffs the dog, looks back at the dog, shakes its head, walks out of the room with its tails in between its back hind legs. The dog's like, "Alright, dude, I'm like now 100% sure that your chicken is dead." And the dude is like, "Alright, well, can you please check one more time? Please, please, please. I'd really like for my chicken to be alive still." The doc's like, "Alright, fine. Nurse, bring it in." So the nurse brings in a cat. The cat sniffs the chicken, looks back at the doc, shakes its head, and walks out of the room with its tail behind its hind legs. The doc's like, "Alright, I am now 100% sure that your chicken is dead." The guy's like, "Alright, thanks for checking anyways. I guess I'll take home my chicken and bury it. Alright, I'll be on my way now." And as the dude is walking out the door, the doctor is like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 dude, where are you going? You gotta pay us $1,500. And the guy is like, $1,500? I don't have that kind of money. Why do I have to pay you $1,500? And the doctor's like, "Well," here it is, "well, you gotta pay us for all the lab work and the CAT scan." Okay, anybody? Okay, so that was the joke. Alright, I'm not even gonna explain it. It's a ha-ha funny joke, right? Yeah. Anyway, so I got a story to tell, because I love telling stories. So my biological dad and we went to Six Flags once. It was a ride, really tall one, takes you up to the very top, takes you up and down a couple times. I don't think they have it anymore, but anyways. So we go there, we're passing it on our way to lunch. I'm like, "Hey Dad, I really want to go on that ride." He's like, "Okay, maybe after lunch." So we have lunch. It's a big lunch. This is a crucial point. We had lunch. It was a big lunch. A couple corn dogs, a couple sandwiches, and some pizza, and a big soda, and 2 ice cream sandwiches afterwards for dessert. Keep that in mind. This is crucial information for later on in the story. Okay? So we go, we check it, right? I'm just barely short, but this is the line, that you gotta be taller, and this is my height, right? I'm just barely below the line. And so I technically wasn't allowed to go through, and the guy was off on a break so he technically never saw us do the first check. So we walked away. And my biological dad, he was the kind of dad who would put forth a lot of work into getting me what I wanted. So I would, like, can we please go on the ride, please? I was begging, right? And keep in mind, I was 5, 6, maybe 7 at the time. So I begged for a lot of stuff at that time. Anyway, so he's like, all right, here's what I'll do. So he sits me down at a table, and he walks over to the nearest candy stand, and he purchases a couple Snicker bars. All right. So we take the Snicker bars and we put them under my feet in my shoes. Right. So I'm in my shoes and I'm standing on top of a couple Snicker bars in both my feet. So on both feet I have 2 Snicker bars below both my feet, which rises me up. And so we walk over. Right. We walk over. Right, and I'm feeling all proud of myself, like, yes, I'm gonna break the rules, and I'm gonna do something that looks really cool, yeah! You know, and my dad I can't speak for him, but whatever. And so we walk over and we check, and luckily enough, the candy bars did it. And so I was just barely above the line now, so the guy's like, alright, in you go. So, you know, we sit down at the ride, and, you know, the buckles are, like, terrible, right? Like, it's like 2 straps that go over the shoulders and 1 strap that goes over the waist, and you're sitting in the chair, and they're real flimsy, terrible straps. I don't think the ride's there at Six Flags anymore. We go up to the very top. It does a couple spinning. And then it does the big countdown, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we drop. Well, I just remember sitting in the chair, I'm like, yeah! And as I'm going, yeah! My body rises up. Like, I literally start floating out of the chair. And I just remember, like, my dad looking over and then reaching over, like, having his hand on me, trying to hold me down. And so I went up. That happened every time that we dropped. Right? And, well, remember how I told you about that one part of information that was crucial? Well, now might be a good time to remember that. So, every time we dropped, I would go up. But my physical body would not be the only part of me that would come up. I'll leave that part for you to interpret what happened. And so, yeah, it was very terrible. And so now going forward, I learned that maybe, just maybe, there's a reason why they have those height limits. Right? Just maybe they might. Just maybe. Crickets. Oh, no, okay. So, this is a fun fact about, actually, no. I love movies, okay? I love movies, right? I mean, who doesn't like movies, right? I'm sure there's people that absolutely hate them, but almost everyone that I've met likes movies, at least just a little tiny bit, right? Anyway, so, I love movies, right? And just to prove, in the beginning it didn't start out this way, but a couple days ago, I got this crazy idea, not crazy, but interesting idea. If I love movies so much, I should be able to tell you how many movies I've seen in my entire life. Well, I'm 16 years old, and the oldest film that I've probably ever seen was probably the Wizard of Oz film, which came out in the mid-1930s. So I figured, okay, from the mid-1930s all the way to 2020, I'm going to look at every single film that came out in all those years, and I'm going to count. I'm going to keep a tally of every single film I've seen. And the amount of movies I've seen is crazy, right? And I thought it'd be a big consistency of Marvel movies, Star Wars movies, some Universal, and some Disney and Pixar films. I thought that would be I thought that would be the big number. And what was surprising to me was that number of just those films was barely pushing 100. It was just barely pushing 100. So the grand total of the amount of films I've seen in my entire life is 705. That's right, 705. 705. That's crazy. And I'm only 16. Now, if that number is 705 right now and I'm 16, just think of how many movies I will see by the time of my faithful day. I mean, that number by the time of my faithful day will be huge. I got another story to tell you, and this will be the last story for tonight. So, about 10 years ago, I was into Nutella, and I would sneak around, and I would sneak things from the pantry or the cabinet or whatever. Anyway, so my mom leaves the kitchen. My stepdad, who is now legally my dad, was out at work, and my mom leaves the kitchen, so I rush into the kitchen, climb up onto the counter, and I open up the cabinet, and I pull out the thing of Nutella, I open it up, and I'm just jamming my hands in there, getting it very obnoxiously and cartoony, like, and so then I start hearing voices and steps outside the front door. Well, what I did not know at the time was that my mom went out the front door to greet my dad, who had just got home from work. And so I hear the front door open. And then I start hearing 2 footsteps and my dad's voice. No, I didn't hear my dad's voice at all. I just heard 2 loud footsteps. So then I very quickly and lazily, put the lid on the container of Nutella, throw it in the cabinet, slam the cabinet door shut, and I hop off the counter and I rush back into my room. Or back out of the kitchen, and then down the hall towards my room. And then my dad stops me, right in my tracks. He says, "Rhone, what are you doing?" And I turn around, I'm like, "Absolutely nothing. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong. Nothing to see here." And nothing to see here. And there's just Nutella dripping down my hands and my face. And, so that's the Nutella story. I was very sneaky. And that was about 10 years ago, and I haven't had Nutella once since. There have been times when I've had close encounters with it, but I haven't had it once since then. And so, yeah. Alright, so that was pretty good for the first episode. Great turnout. I'm really happy with it. And I hope you all enjoyed it. I will be back probably next week. We'll probably try and have the next episode air next Friday. And so thanks for those of you who stayed on. And I hope you all enjoyed it. So, this is Rhone, signing off the first episode of the Rhone Thomas Live.